there is not a new essential question for this lesson. So if you want to, you can either continue your 5-3 day 1 notes, or you can set up a new Cornell page, but you're only going to need the question and notes column. You're not going to need the topic and essential question. We're just continuing multi-step equations. Solve the inequality. This time you'll notice that we have variables on both sides. Again, we did this in chapter 2, so it's just a reminder of how to do it. We also can't forget that if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to flip the inequality symbol. So my two couples are 15x and 11x. I still always like to avoid negatives if I can. So I'm going to subtract 11x on both sides to keep it positive. 15x minus 11x is 4x. Bring down the negative 4, don't lose the negative sign. 11 and 11 make 0, and bring down the negative 16. Also don't lose the negative in front of the 16. Now we're left with a couple and third wheel problem. My couple is 4x. My third wheel is negative 4, so I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Bring down the 4x. Bring down the greater than symbol. Negative 16 plus 4 is negative 12. We're dividing by a positive 4, so I don't have to flip. Negative 12 divided by 4 is negative 3. My variable is on the left, so I don't need to rewrite it. So on that one, I didn't have to flip or rewrite. Six times 5x minus 3 is less than 36x. So this one has quite a few steps going on. We notice that there's variables on both sides, but there's something we have to do before we get them on the same side. On any problem, no matter what, if you see distributing or bombing, you have to do that first. So 6 times 5x is 30x. And then don't forget, you also have to multiply 6 times negative 3. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. Bring down my inequality and bring down the 36x. Now we've got a variable on both sides problem. In order to keep things positive, I'm going to subtract 30x on both sides. Instead of subtracting 36x, that would create a negative. Bring down the negative 18. 36 minus 30 is 6x. We're dividing both sides by a positive 6, so I don't have to flip. Negative 18 divided by 6 is negative 3. Now I do have my variable on the right and I want it on the left, so I do need to rewrite. The Pac-Man mouth is eating the x. The Pac-Man mouth has to eat the x. So my answer is x is greater than negative 3. Negative 2 times x minus 3, x minus 4 is greater than 5x minus 13. And I'm going to move this up a little bit since it's a fairly long problem. Okay, after I draw my train tracks, I have distributing, so I have to do that first. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. Make sure you have positive on your paper. Bring down the 5x minus 13. Now we've got a variable on both sides that we need to get on the same side. Circle my couples. In order to keep things positive, I'm going to add 2x to both sides. Bring down the positive 8. Bring down my inequality. 5 plus 2 is 7x. My couple is 7x, so I'm going to add 13 to both sides. Bring down the 7x, bring down my inequality. 13 plus 8 is 21. Divide both sides by 7. I'm dividing by a positive, so I don't have to flip it. only problem is my variable's on the right and I want it on the left. So put the x on the left, the 3 on the right. My Pac-Man mouth is eating the 3, so I need my Pac-Man mouth to eat the 3. Two times x plus 6 is greater than negative 3 times 8
Roy
minus
McCready,
x.
if you're in the building, could you please come to the office?
Train tracks.
Roy McCready, if you're in the building, could you please come to the office? Thank you.
This time, you'll notice we have to distribute on both sides. Both sides. So we're going to do that twice. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 6 is 12. Negative 3 times 8 is negative 24. And you'll notice if the negative x, that's the same as negative 1x. So a negative 3 times a negative 1 makes a positive 3x. Now I've got variables on both sides. So I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides in order to keep things positive. Bring down the 12. 3x minus 2x gives me 1x, or x, you can write it either way. My couple is 1x, my third wheel is 24. So I'm going to add 24 to both sides. Bring down the 1x, or x. 12 plus 24 gives me 36. I didn't have to multiply or divide by a negative on this one, but I do have the variable on the right and I want it on the left. So the Pac-Man mouth eats the 36. Pac-Man mouth needs to eat the 36. 5-3 checkpoint worksheet. Directions. Solve together. Switch after each step. Make sure to check to see if your partner completed their step correctly before you move on. So this is a worksheet that you can get from your teacher, but I'm going to show you how this would work if it was me and my partner. I'm going to pretend that I'm red and my partner is going to be blue. So I'll show you how we'd switch off. So if I'm red, I would start by doing train tracks. My partner then could circle my couple. Then I would subtract 3 on both sides. And then my partner would bring down what I'm left with. Then I would divide both sides by -2. Now my partner hopefully is noticing something. They're saying, wait a second, they forgot to flip the inequality. So I'm going to make that correction for them. After you think everything is right, you can put it down in the answer box. X is less than -3. Your homework for this lesson is page 285 in the back of the book. It's section 5-3, numbers 3 through 11, 13 through 14.